Please, he's in my head, Father.
The year was 1910. New Orleans. You could say I managed and operated a diversified portfolio of enterprises. I was being hunted, and I was completely unaware it was happening.
I've been watching you for some time now, Louis. I can swap this life of shame. Swap it out for a dark gift. You just have to ask me for it.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I lay down with the devil, and I can't think nothing anymore. Lord, help me. I am weak. I want to die.
You feel soft.
I ask the questions, you answer the questions. Anything that can't be verified, I send to my researcher. So, how long have you been dead?
Hate to give the satisfaction asking how you're doing now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you want. Look at you, cool guy, you got it. I see the parties and diamonds. Sometimes when I close my eyes, 6 months of torture you sold to some forbidden paradise. I loved you truly. You gotta laugh at the stupidity, 'cause I've made some really big mistakes, but you make the worst one look fine. I should have known it was strange. You only come out at night. I used to think I was smart, but you made me so naive. The way you saw me for parts, you sunk your teeth into me. Sucker face, bleed me dry like a goddamn vampire.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome to this Tuesdays where we talk about vampires. Did y'all miss Claudia as much as I did? When I tell you, I missed her so much. I love the fact that we are going back to revisit the show because it's like really low-key getting to see her all over again for the first time, and also getting to see her and sympathize with her through brand new eyes. I was here for everything, and I cannot wait to hear what the ladies have to say backstage. Already pulling up to the function with 73 people in the chat. We absolutely love to see it. If you could like, share, subscribe, and all those good things, not only on my platform, but my panelists as well. We are all streaming. We would really, really appreciate that. Bringing her out of here first, you know, with her Armand Perry Studios. I would love to know what Kay thought about this episode and what it was like for you to see Claudia again.
Oh, y'all know I had to represent just for a little bit. Because he was putting on his show this whole time. Brilliant. But yes, I loved Claudia's introduction. She was actually one of my favorite characters anyway. I love her whole personality. I love how she made us look at Louis and Lestat a little bit harder. I like that Daniel loved her to death. I enjoyed Claudia being a part of this episode. I was really happy she was here. Finally, we got Claudia.
I've been waiting. I just love how devoted you are to Arun with that background. Child.
Listen, he was in this episode knowing good and hell well he was the leader of the Children of Darkness cult, but he sitting up there play lying and praying. talking about he believe it. Like, how you got a fake Muslim name and praying, and you ain't never been part of this religion in your whole life. But y'all believed it. Y'all believed it for 2 seasons. So.
Okay, don't be acting like you knew who that was this entire time. I'm not gonna play with Kay. It's too early. Bringing out my next girl because y'all need to send C some super chats. Send C some super chats because she finna get up in here like I already know, like she already do, and defend Louis' dirty draws. Coming to the stage, C, the Louis defense attorney.
Hello. Yes. Back in court as always to defend my client from allegations.
I'm just gonna ask you one question, see, just one. Did Louis do anything wrong this episode?
I don't want to give it away. I'm going to let the those in the chats be in suspense for a little while longer because there are some things that happened, but were they his faults? We'll decide. We'll let you decide.
You already know what I'm saying. Last but not least, my girl Ashley in the back with her very, very sweet perspective. Ashley, what was it like to see Claudia again after all this time? Because we mourned Claudia. We had a whole service and everything, and it's like they brought her back to life.
They did. It was beautiful and it was tragic all at the same time. Shout out to the actress. Y'all have to give me her name again because I'm gonna get them confused. Bailey Bass, right? But to see her transform and to see adolescent Claudia with all of like the gleeful awe and reckless abandon that she had, and then to see the moment and point in time where we get present day Claudia was incredible. Like, to do that all in one episode is crazy. We saw her go through every single emotion. We saw her go through major life events, and really the things that shaped her bitterness in season 2. And I loved that. Shout out to her. It was incredible to watch again.
I just love, like, and no splice or anything to the young lady who took up her role in season 2, but I was like, man, if we could have got Miss Bailey rolling on over, the fact that we was broken down over Claudia's death child, we would have been on the flow. We would have been on the flow. They have such good synergy and chemistry together, and I just would have loved to see her execute this character in that second season. And I just feel like it's such an unfortunate situation that we didn't, because the acting from Miss Bailey here, like as you said, it's just everything. All of the inner monologues, her writing in her journal, all of the stages that she went through. It's more than just, changing a dress. Like, she is changing literally everything about herself, from her body to her mannerisms. So it was incredible. And anybody got anything else to say on Miss Bailey before we get started?
Just shout out to her for being so young and putting in this work. And like I said, capturing the essence of Claudia, because she did that. If she ain't do nothing else, she did that.
She did that. She absolutely did that. But let's get into it, because she did a whole lot. And some other people here did some stuff too, but we gonna discuss who did what. But I ain't even gonna waste no time. We got to get Arun out the way first. We have to get Armand out of the way first. I thought Louis was your god. Daniel smoked for Arun without knowing why. He's also here in this episode ignoring his needs for medical attention, Claudia's diaries, and Armand's commitment to the Rashid bit part. Because, baby, the way Armand is committed to this role. Now, I did love the little moments that we did get here with Daniel and Rashid, because there is just tension there. There is just like, Daniel just hates to see Armand coming. He just doesn't know why. As of right now, like, you just get away. Like, where is Louis? I don't want nothing to do with you. But we of course we do know why. But I do love the moments of us kind of clocking Daniel's health and him just not giving a damn. He's pretty much, at the end of his rope. As far as Daniel is concerned, like, I'm about to die and I don't care. And I think that just adds so much substance to him being turned into a vampire. And also the smoke. The smoke y'all told me I was going to get this episode. I was waiting this episode for the Louis slap. It is not this episode. I was waiting so I could dub it and replay it in the live, but I guess it's next episode. But I just have to commend Armand here. Like Armand is really, really committed the way that he is sitting there. And I just love not only the duality with Armand, but we already see that Daniel never took anything verbatim. I'm already clocking you, taking my notes on you because something is off with this. But as far as we know, this is just regular Rashid. Kay, talk about your man.
Boy, y'all thought he was a Muslim for real. he had on the outfit. He was walking around them gloves. He had the right time of day. He had the stance right. He had his little thing. Like he was selling it to the point that Daniel was even like, you know what? I interrupted you. I'm gonna let you continue. Okay. He was selling it. First of all, he didn't even have to go that hard because nobody even asked you the time that you prayed. Nobody asked you anything about this religious practice at all. Nobody said anything. But when Armand put on the play, he's gonna go all the way. Okay. He said, no, my name is Rashid. If you Rashid, that sounds like, like Islamic. So I'm gonna have to like really sell it. Let me get my black on. Let me wear this, I gotta really sell it. Let me puff my hair out some. And I'm gonna do this prayer for y'all. Okay. And we believed it. Okay. We thought this whole time Armand was a Muslim. Okay. Anybody in here, did y'all see through that? No, y'all didn't. Okay. This was a show.
We did not. What gave it away? If you ever thought anything else about Armand, he was up and out in the daylight. So you were just, writing everything off. He out here in the sun. He couldn't possibly be a vampire just from the little things that we knew about vampires.
And then out really praying out in front of everybody. Nobody even told you to go out there and pray.
It's just dramatic, just absolutely dramatic. Putting on this play. He was bored. This was like action. They had been in that penthouse a little too long. See, any thoughts for Daniel and Arun?
I think it's just him being bored. Like he likes to get into this thing. He's an actor, right? He likes to pretend. Him and Louis, I told you they some freaks. They be in there, cutting up with the little role play switcheroos, and he just gets into it. And I think this was part of, we get to see a little peek behind the curtain of what goes on in the bedroom, fully immersed in his character. And I think it's interesting knowing that him and Daniel get together, eventually. So it's like, how does that even take place? I wonder how they're going to tackle that, next season.
No, please don't. Please leave that out.
It's coming. It's coming. They about to, hit it off, and all of this history that they have. It's so weird. But again, as we see here, Armand can put on another skin, so he's going to put on another character and become whoever it is that Daniel wants to fall in love with.
The last thing any of us want to see is Daniel being one with Armand. They can please don't do that. Please. I want to see Daniel living his truth, but not with Arun.
Ooh.
Actually,
I don't want to see Daniel getting busy with nobody. I don't want to see it. Allude to it. Innuendo. The art of innuendo is lost. Let's revive that. Let's resurrect that for Daniel's smeck scenes going forward, because I never want to see that. No offense, Eric Bogosian. I love you down, but no, thank you. But yes, so in hindsight, I feel foolish. Because there were signs even then. Armand, aka fake Rashid, aka real Rashid, right? For the moment, was elitist even in this. He said, baby, I got some stuff for you for the archive, but make sure you put your gloves on, because what we're not going to do, Daniel, is get your grubby little prints on all of this stuff. He was such a snot. I also appreciate we got to see Daniel in his kind of most vulnerable state in terms of his frailty. Yeah. Because even at some moments we see his hands shaking. We hear about the medication that Arun, Amadeo, Armand, Rashid, whoever he is, said, we already ordered that for you. Don't worry about it. But also what I didn't see the first time was that Daniel was already taking notes on Rashid. And like, who speaks like that? Like, is he really from this time? Because he's thou shalling and and he's like, who are you? And so again, there were clues there. Shout out to the brilliant writing, because to go back and be able to kind of see that they were giving us breadcrumbs to who was really who during that time was amazing. Also, Claudia's journals were beautiful. This
Oh,
was
yeah.
beautiful. I am surprised though that Daniel didn't ask about the floating shelves in this scene, because we see that tree and I thought of you and Kay. I was like, oh Lord, here go that daggum tree.
I screamed when I saw that tree. Like, that tree ain't there no more. And he was all happy. He's like, oh, that's an odd choice of a plant. Well, yeah, this was passed down from the blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that you took it with you. You took it with you when you left.
That's right. Y'all can't have it.
I'm standing here speaking in those old languages and calling, well, Dubai is but a baby. Like, a baby to who? To you? Because you don't look, and you look every bit of 27. What do you mean? The clues were always there, but it just goes to show how great the writing is, because we definitely were not paying attention. I mean, I thought I was. We weren't. We weren't paying attention enough to whenever he decides to catch flight in the end that we would know, oh, I knew this whole time you was a vampire. Did not know. Kay, I am going to come to you first. What age did Lestat turn Claudia? A12, B13, C14, or D15?
14.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Okay. He's indecisive. 14? It is definitely 14. I don't know why I thought Claudia was 13, and then I watched this episode. I was like, oh. Not that it makes a ton of difference. I just really thought that she was 13 in that moment. It was definitely 14. Let's get into the mess. Let's get into y'all friend, because baby, she called me an angel. The diabolical work of selfishly changing Claudia. Now I got the videos down here because I just didn't feel like we should just stop here. Only thing I don't have in these videos is him dragging Claudia across that floor, because they kept copyrighting that part. They ain't want us to hate. It's fine. We know we was there. We saw him drag her. But before we watch these videos, I just need a yes or no, and then we're gonna talk about it again after the videos. See, was it selfish of Louis to do this to Claudia?
The girl was dying. The girl was on her deathbed. She needs to be thankful. That's what needs to happen. I didn't hear a thank you after saving your life, Claudia, ma'am. and providing you with such good care. You was in the hood, in the projects, burning. Now you over here in the big house, living life like a princess. And what's the problem?
And who's at fault here between him and Lestat as far as Claudia? Who's at fault?
Lestat should have told the rules. He should have said, hey, this is against the vampire law that I never told you about.
Don't say it, Kay. Okay. Ashley, same questions to you. Was this a selfish act, and whose fault is it between the two?
Yeah, it's selfish, and it's both their fault. And see, I mean, save her for what now? Just to kill her some years later? Like, what the heck does it matter? Let her go, Louis. Louis did this for his own selfish reasons. Louis wanted a family. Louis wanted a child. Louis wanted some vestige of his humanity to make him feel like he was a good vampire, like he was a moral vampire. That's why he did this. And Lestat is complicit because he wanted his man. I'm gonna have his baby for you. I'm just to keep you, just to make you here, so I'm not lonely for an eternity. They were both culpable. Lestat was complicit, but this was Louis. Louis is a master manipulator. He knew what he was doing to Lestat.
Lying ass Louis, as Kay would say. Kay, what about you? Whose fault is this?
If Louis really wanted to save that girl, he would have did like she said, why didn't you take me to the hospital? And he ain't have no words. He had no words because he don't know. He said, oh, I guess I'm the one that's responsible for this burning that's happening. You know what? My sister kind of just dumped me. So let me go ahead and get me a new one. Lestat,
right.
I will never leave you.
Yes. Right.
If you let me have a daughter.
We're gonna take this off of here, and we gonna run it back, because I just feel like we need video evidence when we dealing with the likes of C. Right. So this is the events that took place in season 1. Let's look at these.
Nowhere to bite. Her body's all charred.
You know you can do this.
A lap dog.
Not a dog.
A daughter. You were ready to abandon our home.
I just need her not to die. Please.
white angel. He bit me right in the neck.
So those are, the bare minimum of events that we get season 1, minus, all the references of Claudia referring to Lestat as an angel. It's an angel, it's a white angel, it's a black angel, it was an angel. Oh, I had to cut out the moments of Claudia like, oh, he picked me up and brought me like a light, like I was light as a feather. He carried you nowhere. He dragged you from that burning situation. But this is what we get season 2. When we get the actual factual. Let's see.
Free will, you do not know this girl.
I can't ever die.
The gift cannot be given to children. Great laws forbid it.
Great law, she's gonna die in front of us.
And she'll be what? A lapdog. A daughter.
I'll stay. I'll never leave you.
I'll never leave you.
A light I've
Baby,
not seen
please.
for years.
To myself.
She will be at war with herself. Mountains and valleys every day of her life.
I don't care!
Well, you must care! And her spirit will age, but the world will treat her as she is now.
I'll found her in the fire.
And she will be miserable, and it will spiral beyond your reach. And you have to drain her first, Louis.
She asked if I was an angel.
Please. So, when we get into current events and reflection, and I had to cut out the portion of Louis stating that this is the truth, go with Lestat's version. That is what happened. For my own, personal satisfaction, I chose to block those things out. I've been lying to myself. The rules were out there. They were out. This is a part, forget that she's going to die. He drags her in there. He tries to turn disgusting, tries to turn Claudia himself. They are both very, very much so guilty. Louis is not scot-free in this situation. And I also cut out the part of Lestat stating at that trial, I had, a role to play myself. If they're being held to task, I should too. I did it because Louis wanted it, and I wanted to keep Louis and make him happy. Excuse me? See, how can you watch any of that and feel like this was for Louis to save Claudia's life? This was for his selfish purposes only.
Let me introduce some reasonable doubt in here, because number one thing we know about Lestat is that he's a liar and he's an actor. When we're seeing that flashback, this is his retelling while he's on the stage. This is a performance. This is hammed up for the sake of the audience. And not only that, another thing that we know is that the play was heavily revised by Armand to be more juicy and more delicious for the audience. So honestly, I feel like the second season retelling was far more further from the truth than what Claudia herself wrote in her own diaries that was being read by Daniel. Secondly, when Louis said, oh yeah, we'll go with that version, he's already been scrambled by Armand for how many years? He don't really know what the hell was going on. So I would say if we have to rely on whose narrative is more accurate, it would be Claudia's, who wrote it down shortly after the event, versus Louis, whose mind was already messed up, versus Lestat, who's a known liar and a performer, or Armand, who altered the events of the play. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, see, everything is pretty much here. These are Claudia's thoughts, but Claudia is dying and going in and out of consciousness, which is why we only see bits and pieces. Even when we get into that last, not the last episode, that episode with the trial, you do have them refer back to Dubai, and Armand says, well, yeah, he said Lestat and, Santiago, they added all these things to make Louis look salacious in front of everybody. And Louis was like, no, that part was true. I did do that. I don't know what the disconnect is. Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, Louis, like I said, Louis is at fault and Lestat is complicit. Okay, so here's the thing. Louis, because Lestat not being aware of the game, apparently, or just, throwing it all away because Louis has the magic stick or the magic boom boom, you know what I'm saying? Said, I'm going to tell him my deepest, darkest fear on our first date, which is I don't want to spend an eternity alone. In the last couple of episodes, we've seen Louis tell Lestat, that's why you're going to be alone forever, using that information. And now, if you want me to stay in your life, you're going to do this for me, right? Because you're so afraid to be alone. I can do anything. We have to remember what happened last episode, the reason why Claudia was even burnt up in the first place. And that's Louis. Louis went on his own selfish mission in the town, you know, disemboweling white people, right? And caused the city to go, especially the Black part of the city, to be burnt up. Hence Claudia being a casualty, him feeling guilty and say, oh, if I save her, I can kind of gain redemption. I can be redeemed from this terrible act. And so not only was him bringing her and, you know, getting her turned an act of immense selfishness, he was also a manipulator because he used Lestat. Lestat shouldn't have fell for the okie doke, but he was used. Louis manipulated him because he knew what buttons to push, in my opinion.
That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Now, see, Armand ain't even had nothing to do with this part now. Now he ain't do that part. That wasn't part of the play that he was producing at the time. This was all Louis. And as we see, Louis was lying all this episode anyway, especially when he tried to tell Daniel that the diaries were scattered across the globe and stuff. Just always ready to lie.
Even Brett was going to get these clips, and I forgot on stage, even though the truth is coming out at this moment, y'all about to die. And she goes, is this true, Louis? No, it's all lies. It's all lies. Like, you were going to take that to your grave. And Claudia, like, that is just terrible. Louis is a habitual liar, and I hate that for him. I really, really hate that for him. What I do love, though, is that we have 112 people hearing this live. I love that. That's always nice. Let me show y'all some love. I've been waiting to show Claudia some love. We ain't never had that. We'll be right back, y'all.
Like damn, she in her mood. 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 She lit, get money too. Like damn, she in her mood. In the mirror, I'm doing my dance. Ain't you packing out nobody's pants. He a rapper, but don't got a chance. Stuck in my waist, so I'm loving my bands. Like 1 million views in a day. There's so many ways to get paid. I tried dipping, he begged me to stay. Babe, I'm not staying, I just wanna. In the party, he just wanna rum. Big boobs in the bus, they plump. She a baddie, she know she a 10. She a baddie with her baddie friend. They like I tell you, always stay hot. Oh, they mad cause I keep making bops. Oh, she mad cause I'm taking her spot. If I I'd hate me a lot. Like damn, she in her mood. 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 She lit, get money too. Like damn, she in her mood. No friends with the fake, saying they love me but one in my place. Step in the party, I'm looking the baddest. So the paparazzi in my face. Pretty but I came from the gutter. Said I'd be lit by the end of the summer. And I'm proud that I'm still getting bigger. Going viral is getting.
Hey, like what? Let's keep it a bug. Hey, bitch, still going, got stuck in the rut. Ow, we missed you, Claudia. We missed you, girl. We missed you so much. We missed you so much. But yeah, I hate Lestat and Louis using her in this way. Like, she was just doomed from the beginning. This was not an act of love, an act of care. This was, I'm going to use her to keep my man. If this is what it takes to, make him happy. If this is what it takes to, make myself happy, bite her. Terrible individuals here. They look. I even referenced that because I went back and watched it when she says, take your top hat off, everybody in here. Let me get a look at everybody. I'm gonna hunt you. She was talking to Lestat and Louis' ass. That's what she was talking to. I'm gonna hunt you, and that's exactly what she did. They was hunted and tormented for years. But I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry I could die. I could die. Young, curious Claudia, abandoned and abused all her life, is a natural predator. The natural predator that Louis never was. She's truly living her best fun life. Claudia was having a good time. Claudia was having a really good time in taking pretty much overnight to being a vampire. I don't think Louis expected that, especially with Louis trying to have a sisterly type of replacement. not that he wasn't trying to be nurturing and have some positive influence over her. You know, Louis is definitely the mama. Lestat is a daddy. But it's just like, oh, well, you can suck a couple of birds and some rats in the alley if you want to. Girl, you gotta, resort to this. It's like, oh yeah, no, I'm hungry and I'm eating right now. But watching this again, I was like trying to figure out, I was like, why did she not gravitate more to Lestat? They have so much more in common. And I just feel like that should have happened before Louis. But I feel like from the moment that she opened her eyes and, oh, it's a black angel, she sees Louis as her savior. Lestat is just the one who turned me into this thing, especially when she later on, I'm sure that next episode, she begins to hate who she is and the lacking of, her growing, and I can't develop. I'm going to be in this 14-year-old body forever. She associates him with that and associates the other one, aka Louis, with, saving me. And then that pretty much turns into Lestat just strictly being the enemy and them being trapped. I was like, oh yeah, I should have been rewatched this season, because don't do my man. Okay, I'm hungry.
I love Claudia. She did take to vampirism very, very well. But the Lestat, as much as he had love for Claudia, but Lestat couldn't love Claudia in the way that he really, really wanted to, because he knew in his heart she was an abomination. He knew she was doomed from the start. You have to think, Lestat was already 150 some years old. So he's probably seen stuff like this go really, really badly. And in his mind, he's like, she's cute now. What's she going to be like when she's like 60 years old and she's mad and trapped in this body and she's going to hate us for it? Like he saw that coming a mile away. And I just feel like he didn't want to get too close to her because he knew that it was inevitable. And we found out in season 2, how they were saying when you make a child a vampire, even though it's against the rules, they eventually off themselves because they can't handle life being an adult in a child's body. Lestat knew that. But Louis, delusional Louis, that's my baby. Don't talk about my baby. Don't mess with her. Give her time. She gonna be good. She gonna be all right. But she gonna be good. Watch her. She'll be all right. Louis just so delusional.
Child, I just loved it. Like, in comparison to Louis' life, Claudia has never been shown, any real love. I've been abused and abandoned by everybody my entire life. So she's like, is this my house? Is this my car? Is this my, like, oh my gosh, like I'm just loving all of this. And I was just like, man, if she would have just, stuck with Lestat, maybe we could have made it. Ashley.
I really loved these first couple of scenes after she was turned. I liked the back and forth. Like, is this the best skirt for her? Like, should we have put her in this? Like, going over her outfit decisions. I absolutely love that. Two doting fathers, right? Loving this girl. But I totally agree with seeing that. Also, I'll add this though. Almost instantly we see the divide, we see the disconnect. It's palpable when they realize, or she realizes, oh, I can talk to Daddy Louis in his head and Uncle Les will never know. Like, that was it. And Lestat knew it instantly. Like, what are y'all saying? Like, I thought we were supposed to be a big family together. And I said, oh, they drew the line in the sand right there, whether they knowingly or unknowingly. I knew, then there's going to be problems in this relationship. But I loved this portrayal of young Claudia. Just so excited. Everything looked new. No, I don't want that one. I want this one. Is that how vampires die? Of starvation? I loved everything about it because it's what you would expect a baby vampire to be like. Like, no self-control. Just really wanting to feel all of their desires. I loved this moment. But again, she said, after we got this call, and I know we'll get to that slide, they went from arguing in French to, baby, now they arguing in English. And I liked it better when I didn't know what they were talking about.
See?
So she gravitated towards Louis because Lestat didn't give a damn about her. Let's be honest. He couldn't give a damn about Claudia. He don't give a damn about Claudia. He didn't want her in the first place. when he's seen that they having their own little secret conversations, as if he didn't know that was the case. He turned her, he wasn't gonna be able to hear her thoughts. He was like, oh yeah, I see how this is gonna go. He hates anything and anyone that gets between him and Louis. We know he's a selfish man and he wants all of the attention for himself. And he hated Claudia from the beginning. From the beginning, he only put up with her because of Louis. That is it. And even when she started to gravitate towards eating, humans, he was like, okay, now, she's okay. It's like when your spouse gets a dog and you don't want dogs. That's how he was treating her. He's like, oh, I'll put up with you because Louis wants you. But had Louis not been there and she was turning away, I don't think she would have made it. He would have killed her or something. I don't think he had no love for her, especially in these beginning.
Now see,
watch this and not see any love.
He didn't even want her around. He was so upset, and then he had the audacity to be mad that they're speaking to each other telepathically. But then he's going to speak to Louis in French every chance he gets, and she don't even speak French. Like, you're doing the same thing to her that you don't like doing.
Okay, they were speaking French long before Claudia got there. And the mind thing, I know at that moment it wasn't just like, I know later on it became a really major problem, but I know that was that niche, that like that bell went off in Claudia's head, like, oh, we can talk and he can't hear us. And that made them instantly bond in a different way. So it was so much easier to throw herself into all things Louis later on because he can't hear anything we're saying anyway. It made them closer. But there's love here for me. Like, no, it's not perfect at all. And of course, if Lestat had the choice, he would have definitely not do this. Like, he knows that this is wrong. But from the moment that it was happening, I felt like Lestat was trying to do his part to be just as devoted as Louis in his own way, because he's very much so a vampire, a predator, the bloodlust. But if Lestat wasn't there and Louis, like, I feel like Claudia would have been running around, running amok. At least he was trying to like teach her resourceful things to be a productive vampire. Louis was just trying to kind of tone it down and make her more, like him. Well, you can be that, but you can also be this. This is great too. You can curb that thirst and you can, but just really making her a capable vampire. And also, being a dad. They were both doing the exact same thing to me. So I'm like, what? How could you not see that?
He don't like her. He don't like her. He would have left the right way. He would have did nothing for Claudia if Louis wasn't there. Believe me, he don't give a damn about her.
But she wouldn't be there if Louis, if Louis wasn't there. If Louis didn't bring her to the table, she would not be there. This would definitely not be Lestat's first choice. But if she is here, and if this is what is keeping my man happy and keeping us, this is our Band-Aid baby. This is our daughter. This is what it's going to be. Which is why when she tried to, go off and live her best life, you can't leave. He's going to be unhappy. Then what does that mean? You're the only thing keeping us together. Like. And then that bond that we see in season 2 that somebody has with their maker, that deep, like, he had that with her.
If he loved her so much, he would have saved her the same way he saved Louis right there on that stage with the banishment. No, he didn't. He didn't do a damn thing for Claudia.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I'm going to show Tracy Renee some good old love, because from the looks of it, Tracy has came through and super chatted on everybody's channel.
I know that's
everybody's streaming came through. You get a car, you get a car, you all get a car. Thank you so much, Tracy Renee, for the 3 super chats. We really, really appreciate it. Let me show you some love real quick and let's see cool off, because how she can't see this love. I saw it. love. Let me leave these loving relationships. I love C. C ain't gonna never like Lestat for nothing. Speaking of that, I'm gonna come to C with this question. What's Lestat and Claudia's nickname for human blood? A, sweet juice, B, kill juice, C, fuel juice, or D, tasty juice?
I'm gonna go with kill juice. Final answer.
All right, let's see. Is she right? Is she wrong? We don't know. It is. It is B, kill juice. Y'all see how she be listening to Lestat? She be loving Lestat on the low. She don't want to admit it on the camera. She love Lestat in private. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. We gonna get that. See, you gonna love like Lestat. One of these days, you gonna see it. It might be late, but you gonna see it.
I love him as much as he loved Claudia.
Lestat definitely was never built for this. What 14-year-old questions her own existence? Claudia was asking questions from the very beginning, and Lestat's locked lips caused that divide also. Like, okay. I was like all with Lestat in the like, maybe if you would have told them more, or I can't hold him to task in that way anymore because it's not this episode, but we do know that he eventually warns them about what's out there. All of this, closed off and, we're not talking about that. And Uncle Daddy Stat sits on secrets. I think he was trying to protect them. Selfishly keep them close, of course, but I feel like it was to protect them. Like, I don't want to let you know what's out there or have you go explore. It's nothing good out there. Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, Lestat was definitely not built to be nobody's daddy. He was callous and he was distant. But again, he loved Claudia. He saw something in Claudia he didn't get from Louis, right? Or from Louis. He saw his viciousness, he saw his passion, his fire, his talent. There was so much of Claudia that was him. And we know that Lestat's kind of narcissistic. He likes that. He likes seeing himself in someone else. So if not love, a very strong like and adoration, I believe, was there for the two. But Lestat, as a daddy, absolutely not. He didn't have the patience for it. He was like, I ain't cleaning up after her again. Fine, I got to build her a room. Fine, let's get her a new coffin. Fine, like, Louis, just leave me alone. She's doing too much. And what tickles me is that he's mad at her like he was mad at Louis for reading all them books and getting deep and philosophical. It's like, well, keep the library unstocked, Lestat, but you got to be so cultured, right? And so I think the things that he loved about her became some of the things that irritated him the most, because at this point, she's still exploring. I mean, she's bumping through the house, but this is what it would be like with any, I guess, toddler, right? Any kid who's just rambunctious and full of fun, bouncing on the bed before she hops in the coffin. Like, I just thought these were kind of growing pains, but we know Lestat don't have the patience to be... or the selflessness to be anyone's parent.
And we know that, especially when with the Lestat that we know now, and as well as we know him, I'm not so shocked by how he responds to the killing of Charlie, at the end of the episode. It's very much so Lestat. He does not have the patience or anything, but he, did what he could and showed the love that he could. But I did say that I felt like he was trying to protect them. They were already breaking rules. You're not supposed to be writing a damn thing down, keeping nobody's journals. And he didn't, take that away from her or tell her, not to do that. Go ahead. Just make sure you get some sleep in that coffin, Claudia. But close that diary at some point. Not even that, but the way that Louis was conducting himself in town, doing business all out with the humans and the locals and all that. Vampires are very much so contained. And not even that. It was so many rules being broken here. It was so many rules being broken here. So you cannot sit and tell me that Lestat was not trying to protect them from themselves and the outside elements, even though it was selfish. And of course, he wanted to keep them close, especially Louis. But I don't blame him for only saying so much. Like, don't go out there. It's not safe. What else the hell do you want me to say? Okay.
Lestat knew the moment he turned Claudia that he broke one of the major rules. And he knew that if they were to find out about the other vampires, what would happen to her. And although he had a funny way of showing it, and they hated him pretty much for not telling them where the other vampires were and not telling them the history of stuff. Because what would have happened in that moment if he would have said, y'all take y'all behinds over there to Paris where everybody else at, and both of y'all going down? Because first of all, Louis, I wasn't supposed to make her in the first place. And when they find out, that's it right there. Like, that probably would have crushed their spirit, would have had them living in fear, being paranoid because of her whole existence. So I understand why he did it, but I just hate that they hated him for that, for protecting him from information that they didn't know about.
Child, not even that. I had already, ran off on the plug.
Right. Exactly.
I'm laying low. Okay. I need y'all to lay low with me. See?
It was when Claudia and Louis, they was cuddled up, father and daughter in the coffin. Lestat saw that. He said, "Oh no, she got to get her own stuff." As soon as she got her own coffin, guess who was creeping back over the Louis coffin? Couldn't wait.
We should.
And the only reason he's allowing her to write down these journals is because it takes up time away from Louis. He like, yeah, you busy yourself over there. Get off of my man. So I can have time with him. That's all that was. And if he was so scared and trying to protect them from all these other vampires, he wouldn't have had allowed her to leave in the later episodes. She leaves and goes off to explore the world, and he couldn't wait for her to leave because he was waiting for her to die. He was like, yeah, go off and find them other vampires so they can kill you and I can have my man to myself. If he was so worried about her and protecting her, he would have grabbed her tail and said, no, you can't go out there. It's dangerous out there. You're staying here where I can protect you. But he didn't do that because he doesn't love her, and he wanted her out of his hair so he can have Louis all to himself.
See, what I'm not going to do is play with you as a parent with this coffin situation. First of all, this ain't no infant. Claudia, I don't know how they was in there.
I agree. She does need her own room.
She needed her own coffin in her own space. And naturally so, as a parent, especially when you get into the husband and the man, when you have like a fresh little newborn baby, it's like, all right, baby. Okay. Yeah, how long the baby gonna be sleeping in the middle? Because I'm trying to sleep with you and get my quality time as you're like, I thought that was natural. I didn't feel like it was like, finally she's away from my man. I don't know, but I thought he was allowing her to explore and pique her interest. She loved writing. Clearly, she loved writing, and if I can't even imagine how she maybe would have reacted if he was like, "Oh no, you can't write down anything as a vampire that needs diaries. That's forbidden." Like, it's like, no, it's fine. You know why? Because it's just us, and we're safe here. Like, it's not like y'all gonna go to Paris or anything. Yeah, we did. We absolutely did. Oh man, I see a protective man and a protective dad. I do see that. That's what I see. Me and my rose-colored glasses. Louise the nurturer and Lestat the teacher. Claudia chose Louis over Lestat from the beginning, believing Louis was her savior. Now, when I mentioned that in the beginning about her kind of picking sides, if the roles were reversed, I think it would have been more in Lestat's favor. But when you say things like he didn't love her, I think it was some resentment that grew because you already had Louis constantly about to abandon ship. And at any moment he's unhappy and he put that little sweater on that robe, Louis be out the door. He be ready to go. And then not only that, I made you and I made Claudia. She's siding with you, and later on, she wants to leave me as well. Like, it was kind of giving me the vibes of Claudia, especially in later episodes when it came to Louis. You never chose me. You always pick somebody over me. And then it's kind of like I have the both of you here, and I'm still not being chose. I felt like it was some resentment on Lestat's part for not only pretty much not being chosen by Louis for, quite some time, but in the end, he wasn't, chose by Claudia. She chose to stick to Louis, and we know why, but I feel like it would have been a different outcome if it was maybe that. I love the moments of them, hunting down the couple in the park and him talking to her. Like, he was teaching her valuable things. I'm trying to think what Louis, besides, catching them fish, Louis was more, teaching, nurturing kind of life lessons and, kind of like what it just didn't feel valuable in the grand scheme of things, because if we have you say things like, oh, it's going to be hard as a vampire, you can taste the souls and the blood. Claudia is terrifying, first of all. Claudia is a terrifying predator that was always good. Like watching Claudia here now, it's a little like scary, a little uncanny in the way, like, oh, the dead one smelled different. Oh, the coffin. Oh, can I have it, Daddy? Look, it's beautiful. Like Lestat was treating her as the vicious killing vampire that she was, and Louis was treating her as, you know, just the daughter or the sister that he never had, and that just wasn't realistic for the situation that they were in. So I was really glad that Lestat was there to coach her through that, and she kind of got the best of both worlds with the both of them. But I do feel like there was some resentment later on Lestat's part, because damn, you chose Louis also. Now, when is anybody going to choose me? And you know he'd be desperate and lonely as well. Ashley.
Yeah, if we're going chronologically, right, and we're looking at it as episode 4 and everything that's happened up to this point, in my mind, Tyra, you're absolutely right. I mean, Lestat was looking at her as a protege. I want to make sure that she's refined. I want to make sure that she's well read, that she can play the piano, that she can do all of these things, right? And Louis is using her as his emotional support daughter, pillow, roof shingle, right? And I mean, and that's just it. I think she was a soft place to land, and he's doing all those things, but he didn't teach her anything about how to survive. He didn't teach her anything other than how to block her thoughts from him, because he was intruding, and trying to be parental. He was using her to satisfy this dark hole that he had inside of himself, the absence of friends and family. That's really what this was about. I think as far as being in service to her over the course of her life, Lestat did more for her than Louis ever did. Louis continuously hurt her. At least with Lestat, she knew what she was getting. And I'm not saying Lestat is innocent or perfect, especially as we get later, because he was vicious, cruel, all of those things. However, up to this point, he ain't done her nothing wrong. He ain't done nothing wrong to her yet. He will by the end of this episode, but not right now.
Not right now.
But yeah, and I think she loved Louis. Who wouldn't love Louis?
Yeah.
Louis fine. He gonna say all the right things. That's my daddy Lou. That's my daddy. I can talk to him about anything. Daddy Lou, what's it like for a man to love a man? Like, they're having those kind of conversations. And Lestat's like, baby girl, come on, let me teach you how to hunt. Let me teach you how to get this blood and dispose of these bodies. Useful skills that she'd be able to use.
See?
Lestat. Okay, one thing, we know Claudia a little crazy. Turned a little crazy later in the season, and all he did was facilitate that in her by teaching her all of these things. Had she have been more, or had she listened more to Louis, she would have been able to realize, hey, I don't have to do this, right? It's like this influence from Lestat really drove her over the edge and really didn't do her no good. And honestly, Lestat just told her just enough to keep her interesting to him. Right? We see that later in the later episodes, even with the chess match. It's like only reason he's teaching her anything is because it's interesting to him. It's intriguing. Oh, let me see how, it's a game for him. It's because if he really wanted to teach her everything she needs to know, then he would have taught them again about the rules, but he did not. And Louis, he's teaching her how to, or was attempting to teach her how to regulate. Hey, these are all the things that I wish I would have known when Lestat offered me the gift and told me that this is all, rainbows and butterflies and I can do what I want. He's like, no, this is how it really is. And you have an option. You can choose how you want to live. And he's trying to impart that knowledge onto her. But we got Lestat being the devil in her ear, like, no, eat these people up, gobble them up. And we see that becomes a problem later in the season. So it's like, what is it Lestat doing but making the problem worse out here?
Shout out to the 140 people here in this live. We love it. C gonna defend Louis down. Let me read this comment while I'm talking about C defending Louis down. Thank you, Val, for the $4.99. I know that's right. C, Lestat is no good. No good. Oh man, I don't know. I just can't agree with that cold-heartedly. I don't see that. I don't see him like being devil's advocate, like he's dealing with the cards that he was dealt. I'm not really prepped, or nor do I want to be a dad, but I'm trying to keep my man. And I also have this connection to Claudia. Not only am I trying to keep my man, but she's, everything that I wanted Louis to be when I turned him. Like, she listens. She like it was clicking on all cylinders for him to be more than just Daddy Lestat, who just didn't want her. If he didn't want her, I feel like it would have been. You can tell when Lestat don't want somebody or don't like somebody. I think it would have went left way sooner than it did. Okay.
I can't see this is hilarious. Boy, that C need to stand for Cochran, Johnny Cochran over there. So she's really doing some work.
True, it's true.
Because Louis baby Claudia. Louis was trying to, you made a baby vampire, but you're babying her in a manner assuming that she's human. Lestat knew Claudia she was a bloodthirsty bloody massacre of a child. And Lestat is like, yes, this is what I thought Louis was gonna be. But you're here, you understand the life. She embraced the vampire life. And Lestat was just trying to help foster that, to be like, it's okay. It's okay that you hunt. It's okay that you're smarter than these people. It's okay that you're faster than them. It's okay that you're stronger than them. It's okay that you're going to live longer than them. It's okay that you're more beautiful than them. And Louis just like, but you really ain't got to do that. Yes, you do. She's a vampire. Let her live that life. Stop trying. Just because you all of a sudden want your humanity back, he's trying to make it seem like she should have that too. That's not where she was at right there, Louis. Let her be the baby vamp that you helped create.
It's giving Homelander. It's giving Homelander and Ryan how he's trying to raise Ryan to be a little demon like him. That's what it's giving.
Louis wanted a human sister, a human daughter, and she just wasn't that. Like, if I don't know what it would be if Lestat wasn't there to embrace that vampiric side of Claudia, and we just have her there with Louis. Well, let's go, down on these birds. Like, the thirst was real. She had the choice when she popped out, and she chose what she wanted to do. I want to hunt. I take pleasure in it. She loves it, and I think it's that episode after this we see how great of a hunter she is, and how much in some of the sadistic stuff that Claudia was sick.
If Louis would have, if Lestat would have left, Louis would have took her over to the house with Mama, and she would have ate them kids. I
think Rose's Bud for the $2 super chat. Condition curls was right. Throw pillow. She was a throw pillow. She was a throw pillow for Louis, and it's just sad. I can never ride for Louis in a way that I would before, especially before that second season, because so much of whatever he is to Claudia is wrapped up in just guilt. It's some love there, but it's a lot of guilt there. It's love, guilt, and redemption. That's just not okay with me. It's just not. She deserved way more than that, and it didn't have to be that, Louis. It didn't. Ashley, at what age did Claudia want to wear more adult clothes? Was it A, 16, B, 18, C, 17, or D, 19? When did she dress up?
B, my final answer. I believe she was 18 and 7 months.
All right. Not you listening. We be watching the shows. We be watching the show. She was 18. She was 18 when she, put a little stuff on. I love Lestat. Like, I don't remember purchasing that. Where were you waiting for?
But I will say, Lestat did open this door. Don't take her to the freak offs, okay, in the woods, and then expect her not to start tingling and feeling some kind of way. Because at that moment, she said, "Put away these childish things."
Louis said, "You took her where?"
Right. Bad parenting. Bad parenting.
But she was grown. She was grown.
Okay, I'm gonna be caping because I wasn't mad at that. Like, even in that moment of her just not even identifying or knowing anything about sex, and he was like, "Well, what do they do? They're becoming one. They're doing math in the car. They multiply." Like, no, baby, they about to have sex. Like, this was just so. And he said, "Oh, my chérie, my le petit, you're too sheltered. I need you to know about some things." So I wasn't mad at that, but this maybe the later events in the episode would have happened later on or something. Because Lord, poor Charlie, poor Charlie. But I just wanted to put this here. It was so nice to see them happy, y'all. I was having a good time in this episode. The Band-Aid baby worked up until she was no longer a baby, but it was nice, while it lasted. We having a good time. We having parties and celebrating, going to the movies, and it's a kiki. But the moment that, she was coming more into her own, not only as a vampire, but as, this potential woman, it was going to, wear off anyway. But, us going on down to Mama's funeral didn't help either. That did not help either. Speaking of good old Mama, because, baby, not Louis threatening Grace at the funeral. Claudia never knew anything about Louis' family, and he kept his own secrets. I was like, all right, what y'all not gonna do is keep jumping on the stat about him having closed lips. She had never knew, like, oh, you had a sister? I didn't know you had a mama. I didn't know anything about, she knows nothing about Louis' former life. All she knows is what information Louis is telling her. Like, why keep this a secret? This of all things, we kept this a secret. And then just the way that Louis was all up in Grace's face at this function. And I know C's going to say he was paying the bills. He was paying them bills and, supporting the family. But they're like, hey, it's going to get real tight around here with my mom. Like, can you just we'll pay you in installments? It was giving soul food. Terry, we'll pay you back. We'll pay you back when we can. But for right now, let's just not take it there. You don't need the money. And this, they say, well, you forgot what I did to that door. What that mean, Louis? What that mean? What if I did? What you gonna do up in here? That, and I felt like Louis was kind of coming at Grace a little sideways, not only for the implications, because this, I'm surprised I got a invitation to this street. Like, you know why you can't be here, and you know why you can't be here in the daylight. So stop. But it just kind of felt like, yeah, let's go. I have my family. That's what this felt like to me. Let's go. I have my family. Whatever. See, go on and defend the man.
Yeah, because how many times is he going to allow them to hurt him, right? He's been trying to reach out and against his nature, right, in order to still have a connection with his family. And at every turn, they're like, why are you here? You need to leave. Demon, this. But got the nerve to come up to me asking me for a favor when every other time you don't reach out to me, the letters work both ways, ma'am. You got a pen and a paper, you can write me at my house, but you never do. And the only reason I'm here tonight is so you can beg and plead to get the mansion.
Terrifying. Louis still looks like,
well, if he was so terrifying, you should be too scared to come up to him asking him for favors, ma'am. But he wasn't scary enough for you to come and ask him for that mansion. He's so scary. And him hiding his family away from Claudia, that isn't doing anything to harm her. It's him saying, okay, well, if it's trying to, he has his new family now, right? So him not sharing that he has a family that's still alive is nowhere in comparison to Lestat not sharing these laws that could potentially get both of them killed. There's a complete apples and oranges, Your Honor.
I mean, it could be apples and this, first of all, Judge, this was just presented as evidence to show that Louis is a habitual liar, along with the fact that the biggest secret of all has always been kept. He's always presented that idea to Claudia that, I saved you. And this is not what that was. He's always lied to her about that. He never told her 100% when and why she was turned. That's lies on top of lies, Your Honor. Ashley?
Now, Tyra.
But
listen, right is right and wrong is wrong. And Grace, the level of hubris that she had and aggression when she approached Louis turned me off. And I'm not a Louis apologist in this moment, but I thought she was foul and very, very nasty to him. Like, she knew what it was. She knew Mama did not want him there. He respected that because he got out of control and almost ate the baby, right? We know why he stayed away. It wasn't nothing personal. I think Louis still had love for his family. He went there to show his respects. And she basically was like, well, you don't need the money. Just give us the house. It wasn't like, could you please do this for us? It was like, no, just go on and do it. And, Levy stepping in like he can do something. Levy, what have you been doing all this time? Why can't you buy this house, Levy? You ain't been paying no bills, sir. Do you have a job? You ain't got no job, man. That's why Grace is bitter and mad sitting in that house. But no, I didn't like how she approached Louis. But also, give they're doing all of that, right? Lestat's teaching her, the ways of the world, how to hunt, how to survive. Louis, teach that baby how to act in public. Claudia was out of order this entire funeral. Take her home immediately. That's why I think they left, because she was out of control. I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. Oh, these dead people. Who are they? Like, girl, teach her. Give her some home training.
Oh, she said the dead one smelled different. I've never seen a dead one look so peaceful. I love Claudia down. Like, I'm just thinking about how I would react as a sister. Like, I just can't. Like, when you are around, it's the issue, and that's when you're not displaying this otherworldly, vampire manicure 3000. You in these shades. You're only coming out at night. I'm scared as hell. But you know what? You're still my brother, and I still need help. I need help with these bills. Levy ain't pulling this levy. I need help. Okay.
No, Louis and Grace, they are their mother's child, okay? Because Louis know he came up to that weight trying to show off his family. He know what he did. Brought that child up there knowing she ain't had no good home training. Brought her up there acting a whole fool. And that's why Lestat had to get him out of there, because he knew Claudia was about to show out. He's acting a whole fool, no home training. But Louis said, you know what? Since y'all don't invite me to nothing no more, you ain't got to, because guess what? I got my man and I got my child too. Now, ain't everybody over here look good and we got a little money? And then Grace came up there like, I don't know who gave y'all a child. She rude. He ain't even one of us. Paul ain't even like him. Girl, Paul ain't like your man either. Okay, Paul ain't like Lestat. He ain't like nobody. He ain't even like nobody. So both of y'all need to chill out. They both came in there acting just like their mom, high and mighty, and didn't get nowhere. Got nowhere.
Oh Lord, I just love. I don't care. I love Claudia down. Like, teach her how to act in public, please. I'm just ready to go home. Like, can we get out of here? All right, Claudia's first love, Charlie. New clothes, new love, same body, and the same bloodlust. I mean, it was cute while it lasted, It was cute while it lasted. I wished at this point in her life, at least one of them, like, I'm like, y'all dropped the ball here. Especially, after we had seen Louis in the woods getting that top. When you get too excited, that lust comes, it could turn into something else, and you can act irrationally and bite somebody when you don't mean to, when you don't have that superior vampire strength. You can't control that thirst. It was really nice just to see her find somebody who could, identify with her and look past, because, she is supposed to appear as 14. And it's like, I see you. I see you. I'm digging you. I'm having a good time. He's tossing her flowers and whatnot, and they talking, and it was real cute. And then it wasn't. And I really hated that for Claudia. Kay, how did you feel about the romantic part when Claudia was getting her life and writing her diary? And I want to know what his tongue tastes like. She was having a good time.
I mean, Claudia, I was happy for her that she had her little crush, but you was doing a little bit too much though, Claudia. He said you got too much dip on your chip now, Claudia. You were doing way too much with little Charlie, and he was sweet, and I wish that they had more time, because he was really nice to her. Mm-hmm. He seemed like he had him a little job and everything, and even he even tried to check her age before he even did anything. He was just like, you kind of look. I don't know if I want to do all this. He was a nice little sweet boy, and they should have. Maybe they should have talked to her a little bit more. Like,
they should have about that. They just saw her as the little girl. Like, no, I'm aging. I'm getting older. Eventually, she's going to want to explore men and her sexuality and sex in general. They didn't even consider that. Turning her like these little dresses, these little powder. This is not going to suffice anymore. I'm a woman.
Child, she didn't even get to the sex part. She was hungry. She didn't
so sad because that lust that took over, because she's like, I'm tired of waiting. Like I want some sex. I want to explore those things that I haven't been able to touch on because I look like a freaking 14-year-old. I want a boyfriend. I want to experience my first love, my first kiss, losing my virginity, and I just can't. And it just is. And, Charlie was trying to be like, girl, just hold on all that. Like
slow your roll.
First date, girl, just give me a little moment. Just kiss me some more. I'm happy kissing you. So, all right, I'll kiss you. All right. Ashley?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Charlie. I knew we knew he was a goner very early on, but I didn't know how to feel about Charlie. Because if you really thought she was so young, Charlie, why are you necking with her? Why ain't you say, baby, let me age you up a little bit. Let me wait for you, my love. Let's go eat ice cream and do all that. You mean to tell me Claudia's skills of, seduction were that she got you in this whatever they are, barn or garage or whatever, dry humping? That's
she
what
said,
talking
I'm
about.
19.
You don't look like a girl. You look like an angel. You look like an angel. And that just sent her over the edge. And I said, was she trying to take the little petite bite like Lestat talked about in episode 1 and just went too far? Yeah, but rest in peace to him. Rest in peace, little Charlie. I
felt for Charlie, especially when he didn't take advantage of it. If it was all of that, he would have been, oh, girl, you ain't saying nothing about the world. Let me take this suit jacket. Let me take off this 3-piece suit. He was like, he was giving Janet Jackson. Let's wait a while. You know what? I'm just happy you're beautiful. I'm glad you're of age and just I'm just, we was waiting. I like Charlie. She could at least gave her one more month of Charlie before.
I know, right?
I did like the girls on the street though that was roasting her, talking about when she was in her mama closet. I said, baby, you couldn't find. They got tailors. Lestat got a tailor.
Oh
no, I wanted her to kill them because they called her a darkie. I'm like, as light as she is, and they called her a darkie. She should have ripped their head off.
That? I didn't hear that part. I just said playing in the thing. Child, let me go back.
They said Darkie's been playing in the mama's closet.
Oh, I just heard the mama's closet. Lord, let me read the caption.
They should be thankful to Charlie because he saved their life on that day because it was about to be a massacre.
Maybe if she would have ate the 3 of them, she wouldn't have had all that. See, how did you feel about Claudia's first love, Charlie?
Maybe if absentee daddy, the one who was bringing her up to Kissing Creek, introducing her to SEX, would have told her how to interact with some folks, this would never happened. This would never happen because y'all want to say, oh, they should have taught her this. If she would have listened to Louis, she would have been so used to eating animals that this wouldn't even been a problem for real. But no, she was listening to Lestat, who want to introduce her to X, Y, and Z, but really don't want to teach her nothing of consequence, just enough to entertain himself, as I said before. Because look what she did to Charlie, and look how he behaves when she brought Charlie back to get some help. Horrible father. He's just doing nothing but whatever entertains him, and this is sick. But Charlie, he on the watch list because he's showing up, didn't ask enough questions. He just asked that one time.
Can I meet your parents? This is the time that he should have been like courting, right? They weren't supposed to be having no smacks.
He was trying to. He was dropping them flowers off at the house.
Knock on the door and talk to her daddy.
He was scared of him.
He didn't care how old she was.
First of all, I don't know what's going on. I'm dropping you off on these rich folks' block. I thought with nothing but the white tees living in this neighborhood. Took her out like the proper gentleman. He brought flowers, hey, I'm gonna bring you. Let's get a little ice cream. He didn't take her to that barn, and we're gonna get ice cream. And I'm sure he probably like, Claudia, sit back there. I'm gonna take you home, girl. And she's like, oh no, let's go to the back. Let's go to the bar. I want to talk. I ain't ready to go home yet. I'm ready to get on back here, girl. Let's talk about it. So did you enjoy? I'm hungry, and she jumped on that door.
No,
Charlie is innocent.
Refrain. He was trying to refrain. Okay, I ain't ready for all that, girl. I mean, but while you at it, we can kiss some more since we back here. But you can't rip my clothes off. And poor thing, this is a good young man, a good man in the making. Savannah,
you have a chance.
Down. What color were the flowers Charlie gave Claudia?
They look like there was some of all these colors except for yellow. I seen some red, some white, and some pink in there.
I need a definite answer, Kay.
Somewhere between red, B, and C. It looked like those together. Okay.
Okay, see what color those flowers was? Because he threw a whole bouquet trying to show. It was just white, Kay. They were all white. What?
I feel like I seen red, pink, and white in that bouquet.
You saw some blood on Charlie. Maybe you
Not from Charlie, not from Uncle Charlie.
It was all white. Maybe he brought her those flowers, and Charlie thought he had did something to only end up dead.
Child, who driving them horses now?
Child. This is where Lestat messes up. Harsh Lestat lessons. This was not the time to be cold and insensitive. Lestat had to watch Claudia burn 50 years later. Like, okay, this all of this insensitive mess. I felt like at this moment he was reflecting on stuff that happened to him in the past. This is why we don't get close to these humans, even when we try to get into maybe little darling Nikki and lost loves. Like, no, this is like the way that he could. I feel like if he would have handled this one thing differently, his whole relationship with Claudia would have been different. This was the nail in the coffin for Claudia. Like, oh, not only she was already mad because you can't. Like, I was like, baby, Claudia, he dead, baby. And she drugged. He was white tea. Charlie looked like a ghost. Like you sucked him bone dry. You didn't give Charlie a chance. Like, well, at this point, I was like, Charlie, you just should have gave her some. Maybe you could have lived longer. But she's hurt and she wants him to, can you turn? He's like, no, not only can I not do that, he's dead, but that cattiness, that smirk, that insensitivity, and this is what happens when you like, this was not the time to be harsh, Daddy Lestat. She needed some care and some nurturing, what those aspects that we do get from Louis in this moment. She needed the same thing from him, and he just does not have the capacity to do that all the time, especially now with when it comes to human life and getting, if you want to get on Lestat bad side, mention some human life or some religion. He don't want to hear none of that. He don't want to hear nothing about no human life and all, and no religion and Jesus and no church. You mention that, I don't care. Well, who gives a damn? Claudia, it's just another dead whatever on the street. It's just a body. Throw him in the incinerator like everybody else. This is what happened. Like, no, this was not that. Claudia needed, some love, some care, and some attention. Not this. See,
this isn't the behavior of someone who loves you. This isn't the behavior. This is what I'm saying. He does not love Claudia. This is how you treat someone you hate. You're furthering the trauma. And the fact that he said, this is why we don't get close to humans, as if he wasn't pursuing Louis whole time he was human, as if he don't got a human up the block that he's smashing 3-4 times a week, keeping secret.
We don't know that. We don't know that. We
know old girl around the corner. We know she there. So it's like he's being a hypocrite as usual, being very unloving. This isn't the behavior of someone who loves you. This is the behavior of someone who hates you and hates you being around, but is putting up with you. This is what she gets from Lestat. And I'm glad that hopefully other people are seeing it as well, because she definitely needs the nurturing of Louis. And Louis was there to be her nurturer. That's what he was providing her with, that parenting that she needed. But Lestat doesn't want to be her parent. He doesn't want her around. He just puts up with her. And we see that more in this scene.
See, I feel like this was Lestat, his harsh ass, tough parenting style. Like, I'm going to do this so that, this wasn't supposed to go like, this is Lestat going, stay away from those humans. Don't do this. Don't do that. It's not even, let me think, because I just drew a whole blank.
But he never told her to stay away from these humans.
That's what I'm saying. He's trying to give like tough love in this moment. See, this is why, instead of just giving her that nurturing side, he's trying to kind of scare her straight into like this never happening again. And of course it backfires because, next episode, the house is full bodies everywhere. She rebels. This is him trying to get Claudia in line. This is why you need to listen and be like, this is harsh, tough love, daddy parenting. I don't think that this was because he didn't like or love her. I don't think it was that. This is Lestat doing wrong and trying to be tough when we did not need that at this moment. But I don't think this is, I hate you, look at this body burn. I didn't feel like that. Ashley?
Yeah, I just want us to be very mindful and aware that nothing was going on without Louis and Lestat knowing. They knew she was seeing this little boy. They knew what was going on. And I think he gave her just enough room to kind of hang herself. We know that Lestat don't care about nobody's human life. Okay, we know that. I think this was one of those lessons. And I mean, it, you know, cruel or not, messed up or not, it worked because by the end of this episode, she says that was the first and last boy I'll ever love. And it's true. She ain't been with no boy since, except for what happened with Bruce, but that wasn't of her own free will and volition. I think he knew what was going to happen. Because he basically says it when she comes back in, you know, oh, you just went a little too overboard with those you love. Like, don't feel bad. But baby, you drained him. When he went up to little Charlie and lifted up his arm and dropped it, I said, Lestat, you cold-blooded. And again, you know, the whole let me hold your face and watch him burn so you'll never forget it. But she shouldn't forget it because it is not only a danger to the human that she'll come in contact with. I want us to take a moment and just maybe give a round of applause to Lestat. Because she's not going to hurt any more humans that way. Not that way, you know?
I wanted more sensitivity. I understood what he was trying to do in this tough love, but this just wasn't the right moment. And I felt like this shifted their relationship. He has to, you know, still be mindful that she is still a very young vampire, a very young girl. She hasn't had the chance to explore. Like, these are just things that they did not take into consideration when they turned her. Like, this was going to happen. Like, I just wish they would have talked to her, and this was not the moment for this. I wanted more from Lestat. I ain't giving him no snaps. You
why didn't Louis step in? See, my bad. Why didn't Louis step in and get
Lestat
off of her?
He was like, "Hey, Lestat, don't say that." He was trying. He was speaking up for her, but
did he try?
Yes.
Did he bust a grape?
Like, yes, she did wrong. Like, you
did he bust a grape? Did he move an inch?
Did he
say?
Keep in mind, Lestat is a presence, right? If anyone tries anything against Lestat, it's he's going to try to overpower them, as we see later in the season, right? And he never told Claudia to stay away from humans ever before this. So it's like, you want to bring a lesson.
I just want to say, as Daddy Lou is her protector and the best parent, what did he do?
It's not so much stay away. What he's been trying to relate to her this entire time, the same thing he's been trying to feed into Louis. Humans are food. Family, you know, certain family, whatever, off limits, I ain't gonna roll up on Grace or nothing, but humans are food. They are really food. That's it. Like, don't get no personal attachment. If it's not a family, if it's not a vampire, if it's not us, they own the market. It's fresh meat. Don't do that.
Meanwhile, he's smashing a human. I'm just saying, like, why don't you teach her to do what you do, Lestat? Teach her to do what you do.
I'm gonna wait on that, because I really don't feel like I don't think he's with Antoinette in this moment. I feel like when stuff went astray, especially around the time that Claudia began to like leave and baby Daddy Lou was depressed, he fell back into them old habits and went back and found Antoinette then. I don't think he's with Antoinette right now at this moment.
He was with her this whole time. He never gave up Antoinette. He didn't give up that cootie cat. He was still with it. Claudia clocked his tea too later. We'll see. And I think the next episode we'll talk about.
Okay.
Oh, I'm with Lestat on this one because he was sick of Louis babying her at this point, because in his mind he said, Louis, you can read her mind. So you knew, even though Claudia was learning how to block, he knew she had a little boyfriend, and he could have talked to her then and did not. And Lestat said, well, I guess you know what?
Who's Charlie?
Exactly. He said she's gonna have to learn the hard way, because you know what? Maybe if we sit her down and tell her, do not go see this boy. What happens when you tell teenagers not to do something? They're gonna do it anyway. So Lestat say, you know, I'm gonna sit back and let her do it, because see, she gonna come back and drag his corpse in there so he could be like, now you have learned. I don't have to teach you this lesson. You learn the lesson on your own. And Louis, you could have did it your way. You didn't do it. We're gonna have to do it the hard way. But Lestat was seeing Antoinette all this time. He ain't never stopped. I'm staying on that too.
This whole time, y'all. Where's she? This whole time she been
paying this whole time. Got her in a nice apartment up the street, paying them bills just so she can be close by to smash.
What chapter of the book is that in?
I'm telling you, he's smashing her the whole time.
I don't believe. I feel like
because he said, when you two, you know, are ganging up against me, she's my reprieve. He had her the whole time.
Don't believe it. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I put y'all here. I want to know what I said in the book.
You see. Keep watching the show. They gonna say it.
No, I want a passage that I could go find, because I'm standing on that. He wasn't with that broad. Let me put it back.
Look, it's been years since I told you I read it in middle school.
Don't make me skim through. Because I got you right here. I will find out.
Chat, all you stat haters in the chat, where is that at? I want to see it. Back to this lying Louis. I guess Antoinette over there with them diary, wherever them diary was in 73, because them scattered. They're scattered. Always, Louis is always lying. What is Louis not lying? I just really feel like this is why him and Armand got along for as well. They both just liars, deceitful, little manipulators. Those were kindred spirits. Kindred spirits. See why your man always lying. Why the diaries had to be scattered. What I hate is, especially as a parent, when a mom, especially your child gets in trouble, and it be for something like that was a white lie. You didn't have to tell that lie. What you tell this lie? What was this scattered? What was this serving? Then he come out there from his day's rest. Oh, just the soft caress and embrace of having her hand in mine. Get your ass having her hand in mine. Shut up, Louis. He's always putting on airs to appear a certain way with his little V-neck shirt on. Why he always lying, see?
Because he was doing what Lestat never did. He was trying to be a father and protect her reputation by taking out the journals that shown her in a negative light. He said, we find out later in the season 2.
No. See,
did that.
We hid those because they showed him in a negative light.
If he was so scared of being shown in a negative light, he would have denied the claims of how he turned Claudia in season 2. But he went with that story, the worst version that's shown him in a negative light. He went with that story. So it's like, no, he's trying to protect Claudia.
Because then you're gonna call BS every time when he said, oh, they were scattered somewhere. He said, bull BS, you're lying. Well, if you found in writing with your child and you could read every single line of where you wronged them in their life, would you want anybody else to know or see it? Like, Louis knew he was lying. He knew he wasn't shit to her.
Exactly. He did those because he was ashamed of how he treated her. That wasn't nothing about protecting Claudia. He ain't want nobody to know he was a bad brother dad.
He was. He was a bad brother dad. Kate, a terrible one.
He didn't want him to know how deranged Claudia became. Like she was wild. No. She was out here wilding and doing everything else, dipping and doing it, right? So he was trying to protect her.
Ashley, why Louis always lying?
Because a lie don't care who tell it, and he's gonna lie. When he was on that boat, he about lied to her again, talking about, well, I used to like girls, and he said, I used to pretend to like girls. I said, Louis, you can't help but lie. Everything is about to come out of his mouth is first going to be a lie. He might correct it to the truth later, but that lie is gonna lie. It's on his tongue. He can't help it. It's like natural, like what second nature to him. He is going to lie. If he opens his mouth, he's gonna lie. And Daniel sees through it. And I love that, because call him out every single time.
Wow. Serendipitous second nature. Let me read the super chat. Thank you so much, D Moore. I know for the $5. Tell it, see, Tyra B. I'm supposed to be sipping just as hard for Lestat as you do for Louis. You Annalise Keating, and she's Olivia. I'm Olivia Pope. Okay, I'm gonna do it because y'all be going in on him too harsh. And I'm personally making up for all the time and I spent hating Lestat, and we didn't even have to be that. We didn't know this man's whole character. Louis was lying. Deception, and disgrace all over this man, all over this individual. A lie. This was everything. The ending of the episode was everything. Outcries from a broken, lost Claudia. 2 souls a day to stay in the same hairless crotch, flat-chested 14-year-old body. Claudia was the exception to the rule and evolved later. Claudia was special. When we get into what I know we're about to get into, her just doing the most. Leaving all them bodies and the bay draining out and all them bodies being discovered, the cops pulling up, she got thumbs, and when Lestat read that little piece of diary, so she did what to herself? The mutilation part, like we see her kind of come out of that. Claudia becomes the most evolved, mature, full-fledged vampire out of all of them. And I just feel like, man, I just loved all of this here, because it was just like, if she would have just been allowed to be her, she would have been that exception to the, oh, this is the forbidden law, because most, vampires, you make them young, then they're just going to resent it and die. They can't live. I think she would have lived. I was like, oh, girl, you could have lived. She could have made it. She could have made it. I think she really would have been just a wonderful vampire all the way up until, whenever with old Madeline. They would have made it far. They would have definitely made it far. But this here, this to me, going into that next episode, it's just like, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to be stuck in for all the rest of my days. I'm finna turn the hell up and be ridiculous, and I can't wait to see it, because if it's all that I remembered it was, oh baby. Ashley?
Yeah, this was that part, and I knew we would never see that old Claudia again, right? She was like, the first man I unalived called me a devil, the last one called me an angel, and I'm really not neither, but I'm gonna be me. And I think that she becomes the quintessential vampire by season 2, the vampire that anyone would aspire to, except she has this major flaw, which is the fact that she presents as a 14-year-old, and there's no getting past that. For all of the Lestat hate, I know, people have, he says the same thing that Armand says in season 2, right? Which is that a child vampire, they're at some point they're going to throw themselves into the flames, or they're going to be taken out. There's no happy ending for them. But I do say, and I echo your sentiment, Tyra, that if she had been fulfilled in that one area of her life, it could have been different. It could have been different thing if she hadn't come to that place where she craved community and craved a companion and craved all of those things. She would have moved smarter on that end. But yeah, this broke me down. I shed a little tear, and I also was like, okay, why are we playing with the sun though? I said, you trying to like.
I love it. This is the beginning, because I haven't watched the episode, but from what I remember, she starts to do like some self-mutilation. Like, let me see how quickly I can heal. How quickly, if I cut, I think she cuts her, lady bits off. Like she's doing a whole lot. And I thought this was the beginning of, let me see how much I can withstand and really test the bounds of a vampire. And also just her testing the bounds of herself as a woman, because why do I want this crotch? Why do I want, this hairless crotch, or these leg, and I'm cutting off some titties because I want some. I want some of my own, like just really, testing those limitations. I love this though. Like, we about to get into Claudia becoming Jack the Ripper. Okay.
Lestat knew that this was a possibility, because what happens when you go through a rebellious age in a regular teen and you take that times 10? Like, she's going to turn up and multiply than most people would. And then who's going to check her, because they can't. She just has that in her, and he knew that this was a possibility. And I hate that for her, that she wasn't warned ahead of time. And Louis being, just like, oh, I didn't, she just, be patient with her, and we could just, maybe she just not. Louis just, this was the time that Lestat should have been the primary parent, because Louis was not doing what he was supposed to do. He was trying to be too nurturing and baby her, and Lestat was like, she gonna have to get it the hard way. And Louis kept saying no.
Hold on, okay, because how much time we got here? I just feel like we need to run it back, because he had said that, and ain't nobody listen to my mans, and we should have listened to him. See,
what?
We should have listened. We should have listened.
Nothing. We do nothing. They lit whatever fire you're talking about with their own free will. You do not know this girl.
I can't have her die.
The gift cannot be given to children. Great laws forbid it.
Great law, she's gonna die in front of us.
And she'll be what? A lapdog.
A daughter.
I'll stay. I'll never leave you.
I'll never leave you.
A light I'd not seen for years.
To what so?
She will be at war with herself.
Come on.
Mountains and valleys every day of her life.
I don't care!
Well, you must care! And her spirit will age, but the world will treat her as she is now.
I'll find her in the fire.
And she will be miserable, and it will spiral beyond your reach.
Come on, Sam.
Train her, Prince Louis.
She asked if I was an angel.
What we supposed to do with that? That's all I be saying.
Because Louis is delusional.
Laid it all out on the table. Laid it all out. But yeah, see, in saying that, what did you think about
the heavily edited version again that was written by Armand and dramatized by Lestat? Okay, Your Honor.
Because see, y'all, Y'all just be putting Armand and stuff, and he don't even be doing nothing.
See, Armand is the devil, just like Lestat. They both in there together. But as far as Claudia is concerned, this is the reason why I feel like there's more of an affinity, more of an attachment to this actress's version of Claudia, because we got to see the range of Claudia through her evolution of, the child to, just learning and to her descending into this madness to eventually becoming like a more self-aware, more complete vampire. Whereas when we see her in season 2, she's already at that stage where she's this capable vampire. It's kind of, she got more range, Claudia, in this first season. Yeah. And when we get to this part, boy, all I can say is this is Lestat's fault. So this is Lestat's fault for feeding into her rage, into her madness, for traumatizing her further. If she would have got, more of the nurturing side, if she was allowed to be more baby.
This was going to happen regardless of the situation with Charlie. This was going to always happen.
It was definitely facilitated by Lestat. It was definitely, he didn't do nothing to stop it. He brought it closer. He tried to make it happen as soon as possible, just so he can say, "Look, Louis, look who you're choosing instead of me." Like he's trying to make everything.
Just on his neck at every turn, huh?
It's Lestat's. He's the oldest one. He the oldest one in the room. It's always the fault of the elder. Okay,
I'm gonna let it go. See, I'm gonna let it go because you choose your side. We do this every time, and you choose your side. See, whose team are you on?
I am on a couple teams. I'm on
one team. See,
one team. I feel like because there was such an allegiance between these two characters, it's one team. It's Louis and Claudia. That's one team. They've been on one team since they were brought on. It's always been team Claudia and Louis against Lestat. So I would like to propose that they are one team. So I'm picking them, Louis and Claudia. That's my team.
Ashley, whose team are you on?
Shout out to Sam Reed, though, for that scene, because he's going to eat down every single time and give me the chills. But I said it in my recap, and I'll say it again. Team Claudia, all day, all day, all day.
Okay. They say Armand, okay? I see.
How do you get a vote? How do you even up on the page?
I'll put him here. Kay be like, "Where's Armand?" So I had to make sure I'll put him here this week. He was more active in this episode as well, putting on his performance per usual. Okay,
exactly.
If it's Armand, okay, it's fine.
I love Claudia though. I'm team Claudia and Armand because they both put on the show. They both put on the show.
Okay. Well, if C gets to pick two people, I get to pick two people. I am on Lestat and Claudia's team.
They don't even like each other. They don't even like each other.
Lestat and Claudia's team.
In her defense, Armand didn't like Claudia either. So.
Exactly. Y'all don't get to pick two. These my people was on the same side. Goddamn.
Who liked anybody? Hell, with the treatment that she got, nobody liked her here. Besides Daniel reading them diaries. Nobody liked her. Louis didn't like her. Louis was tied to Claudia in guilt. He didn't like her. That was his throw pillow. Let me take this on off. Never like that. Poor woman. Oh, y'all, that was episode 4. It's getting hot in here because what we're not gonna do is all gang up on Lestat in the chat. That's what we're not gonna do. He did what he could with what he had. Was trying to keep his man. My man was in a between rock and hard place. You got Claudia. Claudia finna go off the ledge. And the next, like what? He was warned. This would have been completely different. See, if he was not warned. Lestat has all the blame in the world for turning her because he wasn't supposed to. But Louis was warned and did not give a damn. And then it was for selfish reasons. If they were really just, you know what? That's it. I'm gonna show y'all some love, and then we're gonna come back and let you guys know what we have coming up on our channels and where you need to go on over to support us. Let me find Paul, because if he had listened to Paul in the first place, we wouldn't be in this situation. We'll be right back, y'all.
But in my heart, I knew I wasn't the only one. Cause when the table turned, he had to break. But whenever I got lonely, I made a for true love. Yeah, but the shit that ain't clear. Or could it be that it was all just
And I do it again, and I'm gonna do it every single time. Alexandria, I'm gonna do it every single time. Whether he look like Elon, he could look like the Elephant Man. I am gonna hate for the right side. And if Louis is the right side, baby, I'm gonna stay on the wrong side because ain't nothing right over there. Speaking of Louis, see, I'm gonna come to you first to let people know what you have going on your channel and where they need to come on over and support you. Go ahead, see.
All right. So, hey guys, you could check me out at See the Superior on YouTube. Tomorrow, actually no, I lied. Thursday, we're going to be talking about Obi-Wan, the first episode, because we're doing a thing on my channel where we take the first episode of one particular show and give it a shot to decide if it's worth giving a second shot. So, join me Thursday around 8ish or so for Obi-Wan. Or you can join me on Instagram for character battles. We're going to be debating who would win in a fight, Doctor Strange versus Dark Snyder. So join me for that on Instagram. And yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, of course. We need a Louis lover here. Ashley, with my sweet perspective, what you got coming up over there on the channel?
Child, everything. Y'all already know what it is. We are doing Love is Blind UK Thursday. Saturday, we are coming back with the Braxtons. And I've been uploading all week. So just please subscribe. Please like, please share, and please hit that notification bell, y'all, because I got something coming every day. And we got some fun, super fun panels coming later this week. Thank y'all for being here.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Even to this very moment, it's still 130 people chilling in here. And on that note, would it been 130, of y'all in here? All 130 of y'all need to go and subscribe to Kay's channel and get her to 1,000 subs. Hey, let the people know what you have going on over there on your channel. Go ahead, Kay.
Absolutely, especially Armand Hive. I know y'all need to be hitting the subscribe button. Okay, I'm here to represent for him every Tuesday. Y'all come on over. I'm dropping a throwback horror movie short tomorrow. We got Love is Blind. We have Bel Air coming up, horror panel, Lady in the Lake, the Braxtons. We got some throwback movies coming. Just hit that subscribe button. We on here like every day. So come on and laugh with us, okay? We do some foolishness on the regular. So hit that subscribe button.
See, that Armand Perry Studios in the back gonna kill me every single time. But yes, we are most definitely here almost every day. Speaking of being here every day, yesterday we had a wonderful time, a great time discussing Why Did I Get Married Part 1. Please go and check that out. It was really, really fun if you haven't seen it, as well as, of course, there's Killer Con Saturdays. The day before that, we discussed Lady in the Lake. Lady in the Lake has how many episodes left? Y'all gotta join in. 2 episodes. 2 more episodes left for Lady in the Lake. On Sundays, we discussed that show. It is a really great show with Rose Ingram and Natalie Portman on Apple TV. Go get caught up and support us and join us on Sundays. And of course, on Tuesdays, we talk vampires, and we'll be back here for episode 5. I feel like it's going to get real thick because bodies. Let's go, Claudia. But we will definitely see you guys really, really soon. And everybody have a good night. Good night, y'all.